My name is Dingus, and I'm going to suggest some reasons that the Electoral College is both useful and necessary. We've read about how the Electoral College was created in Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2 of the Constitution. Let's consider for a moment why. Writing in Federalist Paper number 10, James Madison states that one of the goals of a well-constructed union is to develop, quote, its tendency to break and control the violence of faction, unquote. He is speaking here of the idea that one must remain an independent thinker. Reason is the key to following this path, the ability to avoid becoming enamored with popular thought. The Electoral College, then, becomes a bulwark against the shifting needs of the moment. He later states, and with remarkable clarity, that the protection of these faculties is the first object of government. The faculties are clarified as being both land and the ability to make money. The bottom line of this portion of Mr. Madison's argument is that you have to take care of your own. Attempting to align yourself with someone whose interests vary far from your own results in your loss of the ability to take care of yourself and the people and things you find to be important. But here comes the twist. Because we are all following his advice so well, we become the least able to make a clear decision as to who would make a good president. While many texts and readings around this subject, including the class textbook, have talked about the idea that the framers felt many were unqualified to understand the issues and make a good decision, Madison, as I read this, appears to be saying something different. That most of those with the vote are likely to use it to put their own agenda before that of the Republic, and that based on that fact, the needs of the Republic, based partially on the needs of the individual, are generally larger in scope than what the individual is seeing. In business terms, the president needs to think strategically, while the citizen must think tactically. As he puts it, quote, no man is allowed to be a judge in his own cause, because his interest would certainly bias his judgment and, not improbably, corrupt his integrity. With equal, nay, with greater reason, a body of men are unfit to be both judge and parties at the same time. Yet what are many of the most important of legislation, but so many judicial determinations, not indeed concerning the rights of single persons, but concerning the rights of large bodies of citizens? In Federalist Paper 68, Madison speaks to the idea of choosing those who would elect the president. As has been noted, Madison eschews the idea of direct democracy, as he feels that the reasons driving the citizen to vote are not what are needed to select what he terms the chief magistrate. And he is vague as to the qualifications of those who would be chosen. He is clearer as to how many are sufficient and why there are both upper and lower limits to the number of this group. He uses the term several and notes that this will help avoid the turmoil created by the whole of the voting population casting ballots. He also states quite clearly that those chosen to be electors should remain at home to cast ballots, making it more difficult to disrupt the process. The intent here appears to be focused on creating a smooth transition or assumption of power. After the election of 1968, when Nixon's plurality of votes totaled 511,944 votes, less than 1% of the popular vote, and George Wallace gained 46 electoral votes, mostly by pulling Southern Democrats away from the Democratic ticket. House Democrat Emanuel Seller introduced House Joint Resolution 681, which proposed the end of the Electoral College. It would be replaced by a two-round national vote based on direct democracy. The House passed the legislation 339 to 70, and President Nixon endorsed the proposal. The Senate Judiciary approved the proposal 11 to 6, but a Senate filibuster was started, and the votes to end the filibuster, two of them, failed. Part of the reason for that lies in the writings of Mike Ullman. He was widely given credit for the minority opinion that was disseminated to the senators as part of the information packet given to all senators. Here are a few of the major points made in that opinion. The first is based on the test of time. Up to that point, the Electoral College vote had matched the popular vote 45 of 48 times. That's 93.75%. There have been two more mismatches since, which brings the totals to 53 of 58 for 91.37%. One of those, 2000, could actually be seen as having been resolved in the Supreme Court. So we're at 4 of 57. Which begs the question, why fix it if it isn't broken? Dr. Ullman continues, a change in our method of selecting the president would alter the whole of our system of government. Here he quotes Kennedy. It is not only a unit vote for the presidency we are talking about, but a whole solar system of power. If it is proposed to change the balance of power of one of the elements of the system, it is necessary to consider the other. A phrase Dr. Ullman uses is simple majoritarianism. He implies that federalism acts against this, thus supporting and drawing support from Madison in Federalist Number 10. The Electoral College acts as a check in the same manner that bicameralism functions in the House, with the House of Representatives opposing the Senate, working in Congress literally. A necessary check against Madison's factionalism. Dr. Ullman also voices the concern that moving the presidential vote to the federal level via direct democracy erases the power of the states in the electoral process. These are the highlights, the most pressing reasons to maintain the Electoral College and its place in the American political process. I thank you for listening and would invite you to follow the links to read the documents I used as I created this line of reasoning. The Senate opinions are found at the bottom of the essay penned by Dr. Ullman and will download as a PDF. The executive summary of the minority view is found on page 38. Again, thank you.